Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Dear students, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Welcome to you all in the virtual learning system, Pakistan International School, Taif. Dear students, we are going to continue chapter 1 of Pakistan culture in lieu of Urdu. This is grade 12. Subject Pakistan culture in lieu of Urdu. Chapter number 1, Sufis and Sufi shrines. We will discuss today the Sufi Lal Shahbaz. Lecture number 3. I am Muhammad Yunus. Dear students, Lal Shahbaz Qalandar is the Sufi of his time. His real name was Usman. The real name was Sayyid Usman and title was Shamsuddin. He was the son of Hassan Kabiruddin bin Salahuddin. He was one of the greatest Sindhi Sufis. He was a great scholar, traveler, and saint. He was born at Marwand or Marand in Iran, about 2 days' journey from Tabriz. Tabriz is also the city of Iran. Marand or Marwand is also the city of Iran. And between these two cities, there is the distance of 2 days' journey. The year 538 Hijri, according to 1143 and 44, recorded by some recent writers as the year of birth, he enjoyed a long life of 136 years. He died in 673 Hijri and according to AD 1274. About his life, history has preserved no connected account of the Sheikh's life. But there are several stories which, though sound like miracles, then real history gave us some useful glimpse of his life. It means his real life is not preserved anywhere, but we can guess and we can judge the life of style of this Sufi or the saint by the stories which are, you can say, explained of his life. Number one, why was he known as Lal Shahbaz? Actual Lal is a word Lam Ain Lam, Lal. It is an Indo-Iranian surname and it means very precious. During the course of his wanderings, we are told he was challenged by a famous Aztec to bath in a tub of burning oil. Aztec means a person who has no love for the material life. The sheikh accepted the challenge and fearlessly crept into the big pot while fire underneath it burned with full fury. It means that is very hot. After a while, when the lid of cauldron, that was the metal pot, was lifted, the sheikh stepped out without any injury. And it means there was a very hot fire which can burn anything, but the Sufi came out safe and sound. The burning oil did not harm him except that his robes turned crimson, and his cloth which he was wearing are the like a loose dress. His color was changed, but his body was has no harm. The ascetic was so profoundly impressed by Sheikh's success that he addressed him thus: though art indeed Lal of Lal, the ruby of rubies. Ruby is also a precious stone which people wears as a ring to get the happiness. Both words are used as a precious thing. This was indeed a great ordeal through which he had passed with brilliant success. Ordeal means just like exam or the test. And during this incident, the Sufi got the success. In the language of the Sufis, he became a falcon. And falcon is a bird which fly very high. And in Urdu we say Shahbaz of the field of Sufism. Thus he came to be popularly known as Lal Shahbaz. And Shahbaz in Saudi Arabia also a great symbol for Saudis. You can see sometime they have this bird, and here that is known as Saqar. Dear students, here is the another story. According to another story, which sounds like a real history, Usman left Marand probably in 624 Hijri, according to AD 1226, and reached the village called Shahbaz in Makra. In another story, Shahbaz, as you can say, indicated that a village. After a while, he migrated to Multan from Shahbaz and stayed there in the Khanqa of Sheikh Bahauddin Zakaria. He was also a Sufi on that time. His tomb is also in Multan. In Multan, he soon became famous for his learning and piety and earned the title Lal. And it is written like Lam Ain Lam. It means very costly, very precious. He was like a ruby, the brilliant rays of which drove away the darkness of faithlessness. Since he had come from Shahbaz, he became to be known as Lal of Shahbaz, i.e., we can say also Lale Shahbaz or simply Lal Shahbaz. Dear student, now you can see some miracles of Lal Shahbaz. First one, Lal Shahbaz once traveling in the company of Bahauddin Zakaria and the Friduddin to the boat to take them across the turbulent water. Turbulent water, it means very fast moving water, or you can say which is very rapidly moving. Trust God and enter the stream. Sheikh Usman said his companions, but take care not to carry any worldly object. All of you must have not any material thing, just like for this world. Otherwise, the water will not give you safe path. And if you have any material thing in your pocket, in your hand, anywhere, then you cannot cross the stream or the river with us. Here is my begging bowl. Lay your hands upon it, and it will serve you as a boat. They put their hands upon the bowl, but in the middle of the stream it began to sink. Why? It means someone has worldly object. Maybe someone has in his pocket anything, and on the you can say finger any ring type. In fact, Bahauddin was carrying a gold brick with him, thinking that it might be of some use in any emergency. And Bahauddin Zakaria had in his pocket a piece of the gold which he put in his pocket for the emergency so that he can use it in the difficult time. Usman ordered him to throw it in the river. As the brick went down, the bowl came up. This was also a miracle. And thus all of them crossed over the other side. Second story. Another story tells us that Fariduddin Masood was released by Sheikh Usman from the clutches of crafty woman, a baker's wife, who had taken a fancy to the handsome Farid. When Farid went to buy some bread from her, she got hold of him and passionately entreated him to stay with her. But the young ascetic was made of stern fiber and tore himself apart from her. Realizing that no amount of cajolery, a sweet talk, could win him over, the wily woman resorted to a different tricks and accused Farid of assaulting her. So it was a very bad situation for that woman because the young man was not accepting on any cost. On hearing the noise of the crowd of the people gathered around, Sheikh Farid was now very effectively entrapped and could see way out of this dilemma. When he wanted to escape from this difficult time, Sheikh Usman, however, somehow came to know of the helplessness of this friend and rescued him by a miracle. Dear students, we will see here how Shahbaz arrived in Sahwan Sharif. Sahwan Sharif is a city in Sindh where he made his permanent settlement forever. After visiting the court of Sultan Mahmud, son of Ghiyasuddin Balban, in 662 Hijri, Sheikh Usman left for Sahwan. ancient Shavastan, the other name, the ruin of which now lies scattered near the Sibbi railway station. Sibbi is also a hottest place in Pakistan. Sehwan in those days was a flourishing town with numerous priests in holy garbs. Holy garbs, it means holy cloths, holy garments. But as the legend goes, with corrupt and perverted hearts, when they heard about the arrival of this great man, whose fame had already reached there, they sent him a cup filled to brim with milk. When a cup was full of milk, brim means the upper edge of the pot or the cup. It means the cup was full of milk, suggesting that Seven was already full of fakirs and that he should seek some other place to settle in as there was no room for him. And this shows that there was no place for Shahbaz to settle in Seven. Here was some indications that cup is full, there is no more place, so he has no place here also for him. He must go the other place. The saint took a flower, placed it in the same cup, and returned it to them with the obvious suggestion that there was ample room. Ample room is that it means more place than his capacity for him as the he would remain among them floating as flower. Okay, he said, I will stay here, but my lifestyle will be like floating flower. Thus a sacred flower was planted in the Seven. In this way it means a pious people came here and he was settled there in Sehwan Sharif. He died and buried there. Ibn Battuta, the great globe trotter of the Muslim world, visited his tomb in 734 Hijri according to AD 1333 and 34, which is still one of the most venerated shrine in Sindh. The peoples are coming here, they are worshipping, they are also praying, they are also expecting good things from that shrine. And actually, according to teaching of Quran and Sunnah, all these things are wrong. To worship someone, like to ask something from him, which is done by only in the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Shrine of Lal Shahbaz, or you can say the construction of Shrine of Lal Shahbaz, his real name was Sayyid Usman. The shrine is entered through a hall which shows beautiful tile decoration on the front. To the right and also to the left of this entrance is an inscription, writing style maybe, something written there, which tells us that the halls together with the paved floor of the courtyard were constructed by Kolhora King Ghulam Shah in 1137 Hijri. According to AD 1759 to 60, the entrance opens into a vast courtyard at the western end of the room, which contains the actual grave of the saint. This burial chamber is a domical structure and shows fine specimens of artwork on the front. Close to the burial chamber and right side of the courtyard is a mosque with roof supported on wooden columns. The shrine is also visited by Hindus who think that the spot was formerly occupied by temple. They called it Raja Britri. So they understand that they were understanding that there was a temple that is the worship place for Hindu. So they also think that that is the sacred place for them. Dear students, you can see here the picture of the shrine of Lal Shahbaz. It is looking like a mosque, but here is also the tomb of Lal Shahbaz. Mausoleum of Lal Shahbaz. The mausoleum has several inscriptions, two of which belong to 8th, 2 to 11th, and 1 to 12th century of Hijri era. One of them inscriptions tells us Rosa tomb was built in. And the if you are going anywhere, some inscriptions are written there about that place, about the people, or the person. So similarly, here some inscriptions are present which were written sometimes about this mausoleum. One of them inscription tells us Rosa or the tomb was built in 757 Hijra according to 1356 AD by Malik Ikhtiaruddin, the ruler of Sivistan in the time of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. According to another inscription, Sayyid Jalaluddin built a dome in 758 Hijri according to 1357 over the grave of Alauddin Haq Baghdadi. It is stated that at the time of construction of the large dome, Mirza Jani Beg, the ruler of Thatta, removed the inscriptions of time of Firoz Shah. Sayyid Usman never married and was therefore popularly called Kalandar. So Kalandar is a title given to a saint who is at a very high level of spirituality. They are different from other saints and have very strong feelings of love for God's creation. Kalandars among the saints are those persons who may enjoy freedom from the ties and bounds of time and space. Just mostly these type of the people are always thinking spiritually and religiously for the betterment of the people. Dear students, today topic is finished. Here is homework. You will write the short question. Number one, what was the real name and the father's name of Lal Shehbaz? Question number two, why is Sayyid Usman called Lal Shehbaz? Question number three, describe any one miracle of Lal Shehbaz. Question number four, write about the mausoleum of Sayyid Usman. And question number five, what is meant by calendar? So dear students, we will write all these questions and answer on your notebook and then learn. So thank you very much and good luck in your exam.